What's going on, folks? Rich here for RageWorks. Got a brand new Diamond Select piece we're going to review. I am joined by a guest for this video once again. I am welcoming Vinny, the wrestling historian from Nerd News Today, as he crosses over into the world of RageWorks to check out this piece.
But I must correct you. That is wrestling figure historian.
Oh.
Wrestling historian is somebody else. I don't want to get caught with gimmick infringement.
Oh no, we don't want gimmick infringement for you. But in any case, thank you for coming in here. We're checking out a brand new resin mini bust from Diamond Select, and it is the one and only legendary outlaw Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, played by Chris Pratt. This is the MCU version, not the comic version. Let's crack this box open, see what he looks like, and see if he's worth it being added to your collection. And we're back, and we got ourselves Star-Lord out of the box, and man, oh man, super impressive piece. What do you think, Vinny?
I don't know what to think because I have no words to picture what I want to say. But that's what I'm here for.
Back to you, Black Snow. Tremendous work from Diamond Select. They've really been killing it when it comes to all of their MCU pieces. I love the smoke effects, the textures on the jacket, the Ravager insignia. Everything on this is aces. As somebody who's watched all of the MCU films and all of the Guardians films, I really can appreciate the amount of work that they put into this piece, which is one of only 1,000 pieces.
So find them when you can.
All right, so let's talk about all of the great things on the statue, starting with the Star-Lord face mask. You know, a lot of times, a lot of the films go through great lengths to just showcase the actor's face, but in the case of Star-Lord, they really did a good job of making the mask a really good centerpiece for the character, so much so that they actually released the mask as part of the Marvel Legends line, along with masks for Black Panther and Iron Man and other props from other MCU films. And the best part was when they released that mask in true Star-Lord fashion, it had Bluetooth capability to enjoy music, which was one of the great things that Star-Lord was able to do with his mask and his trusty cassette player, which I would have liked to have seen hooked to his waist on this statue. It's my only small gripe, but other than that, outstanding.
And talking about the mask, and I'm looking at it more and more and more, what I'm truly appreciating is the level of detail with the battle damage on the mask.
Yep.
Like the little scuffs and everything. That I find amazing.
They even took that one step further in the jacket. You're getting all the creases, all the imperfections as well. That's one of the things I like. Even though this is supposed to be like an action effect of the jacket being blown open, the ripples that they added, even the detail to the buttons, which are actually raised, is a really nice touch.
What I'm loving from Diamond Select, and we just did another review on the Chris Jericho statue. They're really nailing the details, and like I could picture this scene in a movie.
Yep.
And I haven't watched the MCU in a very long time, too, but I could tell exactly where this is from.
One of the things that I've really appreciated from a lot of Diamond Select pieces that utilize smoke effects is the attention to detail here, so much so that you would think that these guns would light up to add another dimension to the smoke effect, but on its own, it's really, really well done. Every Diamond Select figure I've seen, from their Godzilla pieces, their Mortal Kombat pieces that have fire and smoke effects, are always incredibly, incredibly well done, and this one is no exception.
Even the level of detail on the shirt underneath the jacket, with how you could tell his body is contorted in the shirt.
True. The only other flaw outside of what I was saying with the missing Walkman was this would have been a great opportunity, and I've said this with diamond pieces before, obviously a great Wade base, but this would have been a good Ravager symbol instead of just a black disc here. That, again, small gripe from me because, again, little details like that matter when you're doing pieces like this, especially when it comes to MCU characters, because those insignias, those pieces are essential, just essential pieces that you can leverage and use as bases or other decorative elements. Not the worst thing in the world, but just something that I feel could have been done that wouldn't have affected the price point for this piece.
So, no, and as you said, it distinguishes the characters and where, because this was before Star-Lord joined the Avengers.
That's
if
right.
I'm not mistaken. So it it tells you, it could tell you what movie this is exactly from.
True, but one of the things that I appreciate, especially with a lot of the Diamond Select MCU statues that they've done, is that they're pulling really great moments from the films and really just making sure that if you're a fan of a particular member of the MCU, you get a respective piece from Diamond Select. And they've been killing it. I believe they did a couple of different Thor pieces like this, a few different versions of Iron Man, which is a no-brainer because the guy has a million suits in the films. But the only other thing I would have liked to have seen with this statue, and again, it probably would have affected the price point, would have been an unmasked head to include. Only because we've seen Diamond Select on different pieces. I believe the Indiana Jones pieces had different interchangeable accessories. I wouldn't have minded a Chris Pratt head. Now, obviously, it could be based on licensing, but if it wasn't, it would have been a nice addition. But the diamond pieces, given the price point and keeping it nice and tight for collectors, I can see why they decided to just go with the standard masked version.
Despite that, overall, this is a great statue. And for somebody who's like me, I'm not too knowledgeable on the MCU or, like, I won't lie, I stepped out after the Infinity Saga. I was like, okay, I got my fill. I haven't gone past the Infinity Saga, but I could appreciate a statue like this for how well it is and how it encapsulates Star-Lord, based off even the tiniest bit of knowledge I have of the backstories of all the Guardians of the Galaxy.
If you're looking to add this MCU piece to your collection, you can pick it up at most specialty shops for roughly around $130. This is limited to 1,000 pieces, so definitely if you're looking to add this sooner rather than later or pick it up for a loved one or fellow MCU fan, you got to act fast because that 1,000 piece limit, they're honest about it, and there's very few times where they actually reissue pieces.
So
be aware of that.
Definitely, because I've even seen that in the toy market and how those go very quickly. So if this is something you want, go for it.
If you want to pick this up, we're going to make sure to include links in the description for this video. All right, Vinny, that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
See you guys later.